Hi, thanks for joining us today. I'm Peter Stormer, Thermal Camera Sales Manager for tequipment.net at thermalcameraexperts.com. Today we're going to do a quick walkthrough on the FLIR ONE for Android, so let's get right to it. You'll notice by looking at my phone that there are two apps you would need to download, or we suggest you download anyway. First is the FLIR ONE app. That you definitely want to have because that'll control your camera. The other is the FLIR Tools app, which will allow you to work with your images after you've taken them. So we'll talk about that one in a minute. But right now we've got the FLIR ONE for Android. Notice that there are two cameras on this, two lenses. That'll become evident very quickly why we have that. So we plug it in, turn it on, launch the app, and we should be in thermal mode instantly, or almost instantly. And there we are. So you'll notice right away that you can see the outline of the traces of what you see on camera. That's due to the MSX enhancement, which is why there are two cameras. Again, one's a visual camera, one's a thermal camera. So as long as there's light in the room, anything that's visual will be picked up by the visual camera and embossed or traced over the thermal image. So you can see as we kind of move this around, there's the other camera. Somebody sat in a chair, it's all heated up. There's a panel box, we'll take a look at that in a second. But now what you're seeing here is basically a thermal image without any real information. You don't know how hot or cold anything is. So the first thing you want to do is put your center spot on. By default, because FLIR is a European company, everything's in centigrade. So go into settings, change your settings, scroll up, and change to Fahrenheit. As we go back, now all of a sudden the Fahrenheit has changed. So basically this is the center spot temperature is what you're seeing here as you move it around. Now what you'll also have is different ways to show the thermal image. You can go into a grayscale mode where the hottest is just the white. You can go into what's called rainbow mode. Uses the colors of the rainbow to represent hot or cold, so you can see where the heat is on the laptop, right there coming out of the heat sink. And then different, if you want to see what the hottest is, that's called an isotherm. So it's isolating thermally what the hottest point on the screen is. You can also see what the coldest spot is, which is everything but there. So we'll go back into what's called iron band. That's the most common way to go. Then the other modes that you have with this camera, you obviously have a photograph. You can take video. You can scan and make a panoramic image, or you can see how things look over time, over time-lapse photography. So we'll stick with photo and basically take a shot, and there you have your first photograph. Okay, so now that we've actually taken an image with our FLIR ONE for the Android, what do we do with it? So we go into the library, and you can actually see the image you've taken. You can go in and edit it by clicking the pencil. You can actually move the cursor around and actually see the different temperature measurements at the crosshair point. You can also go in and change it from the different color palettes if you find something you'd rather use to make it more apparent that there's a problem. So here this is using the hottest or the isotherm. And you can save it, and then you can actually go in through Dropbox. And it's important to use something like Dropbox or a service that will actually transfer the file as opposed to emailing it, because if you actually email it, what will happen is it'll lose all the radiometric data that comes with the image. So you upload it using Dropbox or some other service that you like. I happen to like Dropbox. And then what you'll do is you'll find that you can actually get it here on your computer. Here we actually grab the image and open up the FLIR Tool software, and you import it into the library, and now you've got the image right here on your desktop, and you can actually go in and make adjustments. So if you want to adjust the span, if you didn't like the isotherm idea, you can actually change that. If you wanted to change the measurement from centigrade to Fahrenheit, you can go in to the settings, and you can change all the different settings that you have here, all within the FLIR Tools application, which makes it real easy to go ahead and manipulate your images. You can take the MSX off altogether, something you couldn't do from the phone. You can change it to a Fusion version. You can see the actual picture underneath it, or you can do a picture-in-picture. So you've got a lot more options from the software once you've downloaded the image. Again, had you emailed this to somebody, they wouldn't have been able to make any changes whatsoever. So now you can actually put notes. You can make any manipulations or changes you want, including the color palette. So I sent it to my boss in the isotherm mode and he didn't like that, he can then go ahead and go from isotherm, which I like, but he didn't want to see the alarm. He wanted to see the actual overall color. You can go in and take it to rainbow, high contrast rainbow, Arctic, or whatever the other palettes are that they have, and go ahead and make a report out of it now. So once you're done, you can then take this image and using the FLIR tool software, create a report. Here you have both the visual image and the thermal image, your spot measurements, which is again in a fixed position for now, but you could have changed that if you wanted to. Again, by going back in and moving the cursor around. You want to move it to a different spot. Again, you'll see right here that the temperature is actually changing in real time because all that data was kept because it's radiometric. Now I'm done. I put the hotspot there. And now you'll see the hotspot is represented back in the image. I can now create a report. And if we wanted to, you can go in and get rid of the FLIR logo, make it customized for your own company. You can put all sorts of notes in here, and all your data is actually kept with the report as well. And now if you wanted to send this to a customer or create it for a record of archive of some kind, you have it all from the software.